Hello, peoples. I gotta laugh. I I told you yesterday that I had someone that said, you can't call us guys because, but I'm just making fun of it. They did say that, but, heck, what a thing to get all busy about, right? I want to do this video. This is going to be a video about what I've been doing for the last week and a half, because some of you have caught on that I'm going all over the place, and I am doing that, so you're right, but I'm doing it for a reason, because I want to find out where my heart is, if that makes sense. I guess it does. So what I've been doing. First, this one. As you can see, this is gold leaf, and I have this crab that looks like Delft's blue porcelain, and I put that on top. And this is the first time I did anything like this, so it didn't work out, not 100%. But you have to do something to learn how it works. So as you can see here on the side, that didn't go too well, so I still have to do that. I am going to finish it though, because I do like to finish stuff, but I have to put more gold leaf on there. Then I had a few little holes, and I tried to do that with a marker, gold marker, but every shade of gold is different, so you can see that, so that's not going to work out, so I'll have to put some gold leaf over that too. This I just cut out, so I printed it and cut it out. And let me know if you want one of these. I'll just upload it to the Dropbox that I have. Last week I was talking about the black and white prints that I made, and I already uploaded them. So I'll put the link below this video. So if you want to download them, be my guest, you can. So another thing I learned is that I put this on with PVA glue, because it's archival and stuff like that. But me being me, I don't have the patience to wait for the PVA glue to be dried up. So I started varnishing it, and because I was a little bit impatient, I put a really thick layer of varnish on top of it. You can see that it also shines a little bit, but I put too much on in one go, and now if you don't know if you can catch it, oh yeah, there you go. See how it turned purple there? That's because I should have put on a really quick light layer first, let that dry, and then come in with more thicker coat of varnish. So these are all things that you can learn. Well, I think I knew most of it, but I just wanted to get the thing done. But these are things that you learn when you do a prototype. I call them prototypes. So this was fun. And I just, just might make a few of these. I'm not sure. Nah, I don't think so. Okay, sorry about that. Then I sort of thought this was fun. This is the thick stuff you put on. As you can see, it has, you can look behind it because it's thick. It's the plaster stuff. But I don't like flowers. I'm just one of these anti-flower people, and I was putting it on, and then I saw these little things that I have. They're from PowerTex, and I'll get questions about it, so I'll show you. That's the PowerTex 3D balls. You have them in different sizes, and you have sand, and you have all kinds of stuff, to build up something 3D looking. So when I put them in the middle, automatically it turns into a flower, I guess. So then I didn't like it anymore. So I'm not sure if I'm going to finish this, but maybe I will. I'm not sure. I just have to do the sides and do another layer of color on top. I might do that. But I was just, you know, trying to figure out what I really want to do. So that was that. Then I had another idea. That's this one. Now this is a 40 by 40 centimeters. As you can see, pretty big. And this is a technique that I haven't done before. So basically it's, you put all these patterns on. First you take a sponge and you take color and you sponge your whole canvas with color, and then you start using these stencils, or you use markers. I use both, by the way, and I even made a few stencils myself. These little leaves I made myself. Let's see, what else? These big leaves I made. You know, you can make stencils from almost anything that's plastic, and you just cut it out with a scalpel and or a knife, whatever. So, but you build this up to be this really, really busy pattern, and I think you should even put a little bit more on than I have now. And of course you can experiment with a lot of colors, but I wanted to go for this sort of a turquoisey bluish sort of thing. Now next what you do is you come back over it and you start painting with an opaque color. But you water that down really a lot so that it sort of shines through, and then you get an idea like this. I made this just to give you guys an idea. See, if you start painting around, you know, you use a white pencil and you draw what you want to have on your canvas, and then you start whiting everything out, around it. So this would be trees, but you can do whatever you want. I don't know, birds, animals, flowers. But like I said, I'm not a flower person. So depending on where you want this, the white you see here, this, now it's paper, but that is paint. So you paint it, and there must be a name for this sort of technique. And if one of you people, because a lot of people are watching, and someone's going to be really smart about this and say, oh, I know what that's called, please leave in the comments what it's called. I'm not sure what it's called. So, of course, you don't only paint a tree. You know, you do a couple of trees and maybe something else in between. But there's a name for this technique, and I just don't know what it is. But I kind of like the way you can just, choose where you're going to paint, and then this comes through. And the paint I would use would be really, really, a really light blue, almost white, but I'd like a little bit of transparency because I'd also like to see a little bit of the patterns underneath. So this one I'm gonna finish because I sort of like this. The thing is that when you're making the base, you can go to town on this because I use stencils. I made my own stencils. I even, here you can see where I used the markers to outline some stuff. You can do so many things, the whole creativity that you have, you can put on the canvas, and then you come in and paint what you really want to pop up. So that's really, really cool, and I'm really going to finish this one someday. Okie dokie. So then I was really doing a lot of watercolors because I wanted to do watercolor with something in it, because I need something more than just watercolor. So I'm not sure if you can see these little thingies that I put on there. There you go, you can see them there. Let me put on an extra light. Okay, maybe this is better because they are really pretty. And of course I'm using gold because that's also a little favorite of mine. But I'm looking for a way to use the watercolor, but almost not use brushes, because I don't like the brushes too much. So this is done without a brush. I do put the paint on the paper with a brush, but then I get a credit card and I just swipe it, and that's what gives this beautiful, I don't know, it's even more better than it is on the monitor, because I see that it's a little faded on the monitor, but it is kind of a little richer on the paper, so that's cool. And then of course you can go find something that you like and frame it, and it gives you so many different, you know, ways to look at something like this. But the thing is that it's not really that easy, because you have to really go and experiment with what your paint does, how the effect is, if you have to wait a little longer. Like, I'm not sure if you can see that little thingy there, but that's something that I really like. It's, although it's small, so I'd like it to be able to make it a little bigger, but it has something to it that, you know, I just find really pleasing to the eye, and that's what we're going for. Now, there's another one. I'm not sure if I'm going to find that one later, because there was a really cool technique to make these things. See all those little transparent bubbles? I'll show you. You get a syringe with water, and you just put a tiny little drop of water on there. Now you can almost not see it. I'll give you a close-up in a bit. I'll put a few on. Oops, that's a little bit too much. But you got to be really careful. Oh yeah, you can see them. And then you get your watercolor on your brush, and you just dab it on that little drop. Just a few times, and already you can see that it's a little bit tinted. Don't look at the long one there, that's a little mistake. See how they're tinted here? Now, you can't move the paper too much, because otherwise it'll spill. So you have to do it on a table where you can leave it to dry. But once this dries, you see the outline of the drop, water drop, and it just gives you these pretty little, these things there. So if you're looking to do something funny with your watercolor, that's the way to do it. So I was experimenting with that, and of course experimenting with this. Oh, I can be so totally into something. I saw someone on Instagram, they made abstract watercolors, but they had these things coming off it, and I thought that was so cool. And it was just so difficult, because this isn't what it looked like. She only had the top half going up, so it was really, really difficult. And I just could not wrap my head around how they did it. So it took me about 4 days before, can you see here where it only goes up? Doesn't come down, only goes up. So what I did is, well, first of course I did 50 of them, which didn't work. Like this one, I put a line of ink on the paper and then had a ruler, and I just, you know, let the ruler come down on it like that, and then it splatters all kinds of ways. But I really wanted it up, so then I tried putting paper below it and doing it, but I got a thick line, didn't work. So all kinds of ways I tried to get it, and at last it just sort of hit me. I'm thinking, you know what? It looks like a brush. Yeah. And this is the brush that I used. This is one of those fan brushes, and the hairs are really, really thin. So what you do is, you know, you put your ink on the paper like that. This isn't too cool, but, and then you just go like that and you got it. Not sure if you can see it. Yeah, you can. Whoops. Okay, so that took me a long time, but I like how the credit card swipe, the black, the little things come across, and then when you frame it, I really like the way it looks. Then I went a step further because, like, you know me, just doing that isn't enough. So this one, which is really, really nice, has the gold on it, and this is a pigment. So I wet the paper and I put a really tiny little bit of pigment on the end of my brush, and just, you know, with the finger went over the brush and it just fell on the paper, and then it just sticks onto it because it's wet and starts to bleed out, and that gives these beautiful patterns which I really, really like. I'm not sure if you can pick up how it's just, you know, rustic, organic looking, and that's what I was sort of looking for. It's a balance, because the circles around the dark spots are sort of more in control, and then you want something that has a little bit more of a wild effect to it. Then I started with these permanent crayons I have from Caran d'Ache. So I started giving it another layer, and I'm really liking the way that's going, because I think that's something that I really like to do. It intensifies the color, and it gives it just, you know, the kazam of color, which I really like. So this one I finished. This was, you know, just going to it doesn't look like much, but, you know, when you frame it, it looks kind of cool. And this one's on Instagram. See, when you frame it like that, then it comes all together, like, okay, that's cool looking. So I put this one on Instagram if you want to go look. My Instagram name is Annemarie33. But I'm testing out my bamboo pen, you know, giving it the letters, and that's my parallel pen. Now, there was someone on Instagram, they were using a parallel pen, and people were going crazy, and she pinned her answer underneath, "It's a parallel pen made by Pilot." People were asking, what is the pen, what is the pen? And then I sort of, normally I just, you know, scroll by and I think, okay, well, they'll figure it out someday. But this time I couldn't, and I just said, "You, come on, people, read the comments." She put it in there, read the comments. But okay. So, parallel pens. This is what it looks like. And here you can see it says Pilot Parallel Pen. And on the top you can see how broad it is. This is a 3.8 millimeter, this is a 6 millimeter. So what the pen actually does is it just uses these ink cartridges. See? Normal ink cartridge, the long ones. And it will give you a really, really nice broad line. And this is really, really nice to use. You can't do it too fast because, you know, the ink has to come out. If I do it like that real fast, you can see it doesn't work, even though that is a nice pattern. But if you do it really slow, you can do all sorts of things with it. And it makes such a nice noise, which I really like. But as you can see, this is something that if you are into these watercolor things, you should have at least one of these. I'm not sure how much they were. They're not that really that cheap, but I've had them for a couple of years, and when they get stuck, you can take out here the middle bit, you can take it out, because they're two pieces of metal laying on top of each other, and the ink is coming through the middle. So if you take it out, you can clean it and it'll work again. And there are even Facebook groups about these pens, or websites that I saw, where they actually, with a Dremel, they take a Dremel and they Dremel the top, and it gives you all kinds of effects. But that's, for me, a little bit too expensive to be Dremeling these tops. But it was fun. Now, I made some papers, some colors, because I was going to do, again, some flowers. They were going to be the petals. Here I was experimenting with the metallic paints. I found a set that I had bought I don't know how long ago, but I really don't like these colors. This should be bronze, that was gold, and that is light gold, and it doesn't even look like that. It's not that pretty. Then again, here down here, this is Vallejo watercolor, which is really nice. And I'm going to do a test with the Vallejo watercolors. I'm going to put that out in the sun once we get some sun, because I haven't seen sun for about 2 months, I guess now. That's the disadvantage of living in Holland. Here you don't get sun in the winter, unless it freezes. We had 1 day sun, but it was freezing, like -8, so that was really cold. But as you can see, the effect it has running around, if you put it, this is the parallel pen again, if you put your nib on the wet watercolor, it'll bleed into it, and something about that bleeding into it, like you can see here, I just love that. I just love how it looks when it bleeds into another color. I just really think it's pretty. This is a start of a watercolor I might finish, who knows. I really love this bed here, but this is too static for me, so I don't know. Then I did some, this is acrylic, this is Vallejo. I was pushing the acrylic paint, you know, squishing it and then letting it go. See here, I was testing that, you know. I kind of like this though. I like the wispy kind of what it's going on here. It might not even be too bad if I just frame it right. It's not too bad. Maybe up here. Yeah. But I keep all these test pieces. Oh yeah, here you can see where I was testing it with the ruler on top. Like just smashing it into there. But like I said, it goes both ways, and you can see where the ruler scratches through the paint. So I didn't like that too much. And it even splattered up here. Here you can see the little dotty things. But I really like the patterns the watercolor made. And this is not that a really expensive paper, so these are just studies. Here's another one I was working on. Also, this didn't work out too well, but that was before I found out it's just a brush. So here's a squishy thing I did. I was thinking of making something like watercolor and then doing a pattern and putting it on like that, something like this. So combining watercolor with acrylics. And this makes it possible that you can place it exactly where you want. And if you put it on there, you can also have a little bit of control where you're going to push out the paint. And then when you pull it up, as you can see, it gives you, I think I have a video of that. Oh yeah, I did a video of that. So that was a lot of fun. This one is kind of cool. Also here with a little bit of that acrylic squished. Here's a really big one I did because I was thinking about a canvas with these on it. Not really sure though. And here I sort of messed it up because this was this big one, as you can see. But then the bottom wasn't really cool, and I did it again and there wasn't enough paint. So maybe I can add a little bit here. I'm not sure. I really do like this, and again, that's the parallel pen. Gives a really nice effect. That's again the squishy. That's a squishy. I want to find something that goes with this. So maybe even something 3D like that plaster stuff. I'm not sure. Gotta figure it out. Again, all these little dots are what I just explained to you guys with the syringe with the water drops, and then adding the color, and then just letting it dry. Another test piece. Just testing, you know, I want these really nice water patterns. That's what I sort of am going for. But some colors make those patterns and some colors don't. So you have to adjust your colors to the effects that you're going to want. So that's going to be a little bit difficult. But I can spend hours doing this. Here again, the parallel pens, because I also like, you know, that it's not straight. So I'll give you an idea. Do I have the big one? No, I need the big one. What I like is that, of course, with this you can make really, really straight lines. Look at that. That's beautiful, right? But what I really like is when it goes something like this. And then you do have to fix up these little bits where it sort of separates, I think, because that's just a little bit more that I really think doesn't look cool. Can you see what I'm trying to do? That's much more where I want to go. So then you can touch this up, of course, with a pen, with a marker, and that's going to be okay. And then, of course, when you put a really wet brush on that, that's going to bleed like crazy. I'll show you. Look at it bleed. And that also has so many possibilities when it bleeds like that. Can you see it's running all over the place? And I really like that. I don't know, it's just so organic looking, like you have totally no control over it. And then you can also, I can't find my, I have this little bowl thing that you blow your you know, the camera lens with. See, if you blow it out, it gives you these little sprite things. There's so many possibilities with this, so this is so cool to work with that. That's my water. And I also like this a little bit. Not the whole thing, but this pointy thing at the bottom, I kind of like that. That's more... Where you see the really bright stuff, this is all Vallejo watercolor. And I really have to find out how long this is going to be light fast. Because if it's like 2 or 3 years and it's gone, you know, you can't do anything with that. But there is also a sort of a cold wax that you can put over your watercolor, and that saves, it's sort of a UV protection, and it also keeps the colors really bright and vibrant. So I'm gonna find out what that stuff is called, and I'm gonna try that. And somewhere here I have a spray that you can spray it with. So I'm going to be doing swatches and then hanging them in the sun to see how that works. And here's another last one where I've been testing all kinds of stuff. This is a piece of tissue paper where I made holes in the tissue paper. I wanted to burn holes into it and then put it on, but I put my lighter on it and it was like inferno. I'm glad I didn't take a really big bit, because it was like just like that, in a flick of a finger like that, it was gone. So that doesn't work. But I like this stuff. I like this going on. I like a lot of things. But how I'm right now is that I'm sort of going toward the watercolor, because I can put so much into watercolor. It's you know, it's versatile. You can do so much with it. You can add to it. You can get effects that you like. So maybe doing that. I'm not sure. But the whole reason behind it is because I'm so all over the place that I'm thinking I'm spreading the talent that I have. I'm spreading it all kinds of ways, and maybe that's not good. Maybe you should just, you know, sort of find one thing and sort of stick to it. But I'm not sure if I'm that kind of a stick-to-it person, so I'll have to figure that out. And that's kind of what I'm doing, because I got a lot of time on my hands, and that's sort of what I'm doing. And then I'm going to get me a website, and I'm going to start, you know, just sort of a little bit more professional, start matting things that I really like and putting them on my website. But that's going to be like end of this year or something like that. Okay, guys, that was it. Also, someone, I keep forgetting your names, guys, sorry, but I'm going to be doing a vase, because I have this really interesting pattern in mind. You know that I make my own little silicone molds to put the clay in, but I'm thinking about something that is sort of this shape. Because if you have this shape, you can overlap them, you know, make a vase. And if you overlap these, like this is the bottom, and the next one overlaps this, you know where I'm going, right? So then when you overlap everything, it really looks like a flower again. So, no, I don't like flowers. I don't know why that is. But maybe it'll look like something else, something that lives in the sea, who knows. So that's what I'm going to do. But I think, you know, you could do this with the watercolor, but not all the other things. So let's do that. Okay, thanks for watching. If you made it to the end, it was a lot of stuff, a lot of things that I showed you all, but I know that you like to see what I'm doing, so that's what I'm doing. Thank you all. Have a great Sunday, and I'll see you all. Oh no, it's Saturday today. Yeah. So tomorrow is Sunday. Have a great Sunday, and I love you all to pieces. Bye-bye.